What up? What up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It's WTF Wednesday. I see Greg giving me the look in the corner, but motherfucker, it was still on 8. So I don't, I don't want to hear your shit. How y'all doing, everybody out there? We trying out some new equipment. I'm trying to test the theory of whether I'm really, you know, uh, I'm not paranoid, and this is my equipment that's fucked up. So you know how we have our glitches when we talk about certain things. So I got a whole new Raspberry Pi set up. We're gonna test out and see if this glitches out. If it doesn't, then it's my equipment. If it does, then fuck you, Facebook. So with that being said, we're gonna touch on maybe some shit that we shouldn't be touching on. So first and foremost, our foreign correspondent, Dino the Legodic. I try to put Lego in there somewhere.
Hey everybody, what's happening?
Yeah, I try to get Lego in there. I didn't
That's
think
all
about
right.
that. Well, Lego centric.
Lego
Maniac.
Mania. That is reasonable. I have an
Your
obscene
Zach
amount of Lego.
great uncle. Remember
Yeah.
that commercial? Zach the Lego Maniac.
That's probably accurate. Who knows?
And on the twos and threes, he's been dealing with these fucking computer issues with me all day today. We got Greg in the motherfucking house.
What up, y'all? And unfortunately, his microphone has worked the whole day, other than the last, I don't know, 15 minutes. But his shit is fucked up.
Yeah.
It still sounded fucked up.
Yeah, it keeps breaking in and out.
Oh, god damn it.
You're good right now, so keep it rolling, I guess.
Stay back here.
Yeah. What are we gonna do? Gonna keep on talking.
Oh, wait. Does that help out any?
It's fine right now.
Okay, so just gonna not fuck with it then. So let's talk about toilet babies.
All right. Right out of the gate, are we?
Yep.
Just ram it in there. Let's go.
That's why the ladies love him.
Right.
There's a girl that
damn.
From I think it's Warren around here. I didn't really look too much into it. But pretty much she was getting charged with murder because she miscarried a baby. And
I'm sorry, what?
I think I know what he's talking about, but I don't think that was locally. I think that was
in Warren.
Was it?
Supreme Court just chose not to take it, and they struck the whole thing and let that girl go. But yeah, she's supposed to be speaking at the the next State of the Union address. Problem is though, you hear this story, and then everybody, they're gonna use it to exploit it for the whole abortion thing. Now what happened? I didn't even dig too much. I just kind of scratched the top of the pimple. It didn't even bust. And what had happened was this girl was pregnant.
Yeah.
This girl went to the bathroom, like a lot of females do. I didn't really catch how far along she was, and I think that's going to be a big issue on it too. But she had the baby in the toilet, and thinking the baby was dead. Who knows if the baby was dead, if the baby was alive? But she flushed the baby down the toilet. Now we see why this all of a sudden ain't so cut and dry as what the fuck are you gonna fucking charge this girl for miscarriage? Because I thought that was kind of. I don't give a fuck how right wing you are. That girl didn't have no choice. Like she didn't, unless she dove off fucking, off onto a banister or down steps or something like that. Said hey, and down the bottom, whatever the fuck, something like that. Like they made this girl out to be the biggest sweetheart in the world, and yeah, I know some people fuck up, and I know some people, they panic or whatever, young girls, whatever. But she wasn't young, she was don't know where to swing on that one, man. You know, the Supreme Court let her go on the whole shit, but it got taken all the way to the Supreme Court, and it just kind of irked me. Like, I'm like, why are they messing with this girl?
Yeah.
She flushed the baby.
I mean, like, you're in a situation like, but that shit used to happen, right? Like where people would have those kind of situations because they were afraid from whatever. But like, I don't understand why she would try and flush it down. So like, did she think it was just a bad shit or something? Like, how does that? Like, it's weird, right? Like, it doesn't jive.
And then can we just for the I gotta give it up to wherever this girl was. I believe it was in Warren, to wherever she lived. She had some awesome water pressure to suck a baby through that toilet. That and I want to know what kind of toilet she could be a toilet spokesperson. I'm telling you, she could sell whatever toilet she was sitting on. She could sell that fucking toilet. I'm telling you.
I mean, that is a selling feature for a lot of us. Let's be honest.
Dude, man,
Like,
Josh.0 could fucking sell Dyson. Fucking hey. She could sell what I don't even know what a fucking toilet brand is.
I mean,
But I bet you she could sell it.
Whirlpool.
Whirlpool
Is
makes
it?
toilet. I thought that was water.
Uh-huh. Glacier Island, I think they're called. Glacier something. I don't remember.
it's definitely like, listen, she's definitely using what she's got to her advantage. Let's say that. I'm not sure.
The water, like in the pipe, the fucking like
I'd be more worried
I
about
got
pipe.
drainage problems right now in my basement, in my garage. To suck a baby through the fucking sewage line?
Like, that's
Well, this
Those
was
are
at
some-
a
And I
hospital,
used to
right?
work at a water treatment plant. I used to work in the water department. I wonder what them people thought of when they saw bits and pieces of whatever goo came through.
yeah, that's horrific. That is a horrific thought. Because like realistically, so there's a lot of things where like garbage men, you get like dead bodies and stuff like that, and they're like, you call somebody and their supervisor be like, "Just forget it, ignore it. You're like, there's blood dripping down. They're like, oh, fine, call the police. You're like, but the thing is, like, just get rid of it, man. Just don't, like, unless it's a thing, we pretend like we never saw it. And you're like, I mean, to some degree, I do get that, right? Like, but then, like, because she was in the hospital, and then, like, why was she there in the first place? Like, was it
No.
she was at home?
Yeah, she was at home.
She's at home?
Yeah, I think how she got in trouble was she went to the hospital to get checked out afterwards, and somebody narked on her there. But
That's got to be a HIPAA violation or something.
I think your mic is turned the wrong direction because when you went toward put your face this way on it, you sounded clear to me, and
Yeah.
like when you got it like normal like you're doing now, it's like quiet.
You know what? That's a good point. And let me try and I don't know how to do that. I just
There
started
used to
talking
be-
from the side.
Ours at the studio down at Greg's has a little line there or a little mark that
Right
shows-
where the
I do this. Is that better?
Yeah.
that's a little better, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I just turn the mic towards me and we'll hope for the best. Hey.
Yeah, that's why like
Sounds
also,
good now.
Down at Greg's, I have a pink one with a smiley face. The smiley face ain't there just for show. It's to be, at the point to where the mic should be.
Listen, man. I am just barely figuring this shit out. So
The
I like
easiest
have
way-
all the cool stuff. Don't know how much of it works. Like I have a whole thing like I could do that's real.
Oh, dude.
I have that's a cool one.
But as far as the mic goes, as far as the mic goes, right where the button on the LXR where it plugs in, the button on the wire down there, where you see it.
Yeah.
All right, that's usually right where your point of speaking into the microphone is.
So that would be here
No, that's wrong.
versus
No,
this is
that's
better,
good
right?
That's
Yep.
This is
Yeah,
this
so
is good,
that
right?
one- That one's ass backwards.
Right. Yeah. So
Canadian.
this right here, where I'm pointing like this way, is where that button is to pull out the cord. But from here, it sounds a lot better. I don't know.
Right. And it's just ass backwards. It's supposed to be. It's like how all of mine here are all like that. Every one of them line up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And they're all different brands too. I'll just let you know that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because I have this thing on here too, right? So I'm not sure if that's part of the.
That'll show you how the part with the metal that you're talking into is not right.
I only have a light in front of me. I can't see shit. Okay.
No, you're good. It's off, dude. Yeah, it's right there where you're at.
Well. Hey, listen, now everyone gets to hear my beautiful voice and I can lull you to sleep with a sense of confidence. And then I'm going to steal your pants. That's my, and all of your left shoes.
So what do you think about the toilet baby, man?
You know what? Like, okay, in that type of situation, in all honesty, though, like, number one, how you going to, like, how old was this girl?
Now that the court case is done, she looks like she's older. But I would say she'd be in the late teens.
Late teens?
I'm gonna start looking it up on.
So like, if she was like a grown ass woman, yeah, hold her accountable. If she's in her teens, like, remember, young people are stupid, right? So she was probably scared shitless because how her parents are going to react or whatever like that, right? So, like, is she an idiot? Yes. Should she maybe, not proceed with having children? Probably. But like, should she go to jail? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I feel like there's a lot more questions to be answered in that. But at the same time, like, listen, the fact that people are getting so crazy about this, like, I personally don't agree with abortion, but it's also, I can't get pregnant, so I don't really give a shit, right? But like, if something were to happen, like, I feel like there are, because you remember, you guys probably remember this because you guys are old like me, is that do you remember in Ireland there was a girl who was raped and they flew her out of Ireland because Ireland was like anti-abortion because they're very Catholic and all that kind of, or whatever. So she left the country to get it, and they tried to charge her afterward and stuff. And you're going, listen, that's a poor girl who got raped. Like, it's not the same shit
out here,
right?
There's a couple states out here that are doing that shit, and that's bullshit.
And that's why
you don't want it in your state. Your people voted that you don't want it in your state. That's fine. But if they choose to go somewhere else to get it done, you can't say nothing to that.
Like, that's why you're like, there's a definite.
Holy fuck! No, not to cut you off, but now looking for that, I looked up woman charged for miscarriage. Totally different fucking case. This is in Oklahoma, and her name is Brittany Pulaw. Was convicted of manslaughter in Oklahoma and sentenced to 4 years in prison after suffering a miscarriage.
Yeah, that's like,
I guess that ain't a new thing.
Well, okay, so see, this is the whole problem with that is, like, just because technically, like, something happened to the baby, like, I feel like you had to have actively tried to miscarry, if that's she fell down the stairs on purpose to try and make sure she didn't have it. Like, like little things like that where you're going, okay, like, then I like that, you're a monster. But like, is that real? Like, I feel like there's someone who's some self-righteous prosecutor who's like, I'm gonna get you, and you're like, hey man, you're just being an asshole, right? It's one of those weird things where you're just going, I don't think everything is exactly the way they're portraying it. And I definitely feel like it's some zealous person. Like, this goes back to Kill a Mockingbird, where the girl couldn't say that she slept with a black guy, so she's like, he raped me, and he's like, I didn't touch her, and she was just, because she was out banging some dude. So you're going, like, people are just being assholes as opposed to actually trying to help society progress, right? Like, it's the whole idea of like a company being run by accountants. That's not how you run a company. That's how you run,
So let this unfold a little bit. So her name was the one in Ohio.
Yeah.
Her name was Brittany Watts.
Okay.
She was 21 weeks and 5 days pregnant.
That's still early.
33-year-old woman. So she knew what the fuck was going on.
She's a grown-ass woman. Okay.
Right. She had not shared the news of her pregnancy, even with her family. Made her first prenatal visit to the doctor's office behind Mercy Health St. Joe's Hospital in Warren, a working-class city about 60 miles southeast of Cleveland. The doctor said that while a fetal heartbeat was still present, Watt's water had broken prematurely, and the fetus she was carrying would not survive. He advised headed to the hospital to have her labor induced, so she could have what amounted to an abortion to deliver the non-viable fetus.
Right.
However, she would face significant risk.
Hold on. Stop for a second, because your mic is all wonky. You got to lean back in.
All right.
Yeah. That's right there.
All right. Significant risk of death according to the records of her case. That was a Tuesday in September. What followed was a harrowing 3 days entailing multiple trips to the hospital. Watts miscarried into and then flushing and plunging a toilet at her home.
Like, she's an idiot.
You were going back and forth. You fucking knew. Oh my God.
So, okay, but what I don't understand is, why was she going back? Like, so the doctor's like, listen, your water broke. This isn't viable. It's got to be taken out. Because that is like a toxic situation for a woman. Like, she's got to get it out. Right.
Right.
So I'm like, okay.
Had to do is go grab a freezer bag, toss old Slimy in the bag, take it to the hospital, get out of jail. Free.
I mean, so what the fuck happened? Like, so they were like, oh, because you did that?
Said, fuck it, flush.
If she knew it, it ain't like she fucking didn't know it was happening, because she wouldn't have plunged it. You know, I gave all them props to the toilet people. I should give props to the plunger.
I mean, that's one hell of a plunger. Let's be honest. That's like, that's one of them fancy ones with a charger, like CO2 cartridge. You know,
right?
Like, that's the kind of plunger that I need for my shits. Let's be honest. Like, that's okay. But
it's like
that's just
I don't know if I could get with that one, man.
No, like, granted, but like, I feel like the charge isn't manslaughter. The charge is the inappropriate disposal of human waste.
You got abuse. What? And I love how they have who is black. No, she's a woman. Black has nothing to do with this. Watts is being charged with abuse of a corpse. That's a 5th-degree felony, punishable up to a year in prison and $2,500.
Yeah,
that's pretty cheap to fucking plunge a baby.
It depends how much the hospital was charging, I guess. Maybe she was just trying to save a buck. Which I
still think she could have just. All she needed was one of them fish scoopers like they do for the minnows at the aquarium. You just scoop up, make sure you get the little eyeball floating, a couple digits that were there.
Hold on, let me
get it all up in there. Don't leave nothing on the rim. Cat shit.
Oh,
God
damn it! Like, your ability to tell stories, sir, is fantastic, but Jesus Christ, the imagery is horrible. So I'm gonna Google size of a fetus at 21.5 weeks. Your baby or fetus 21 weeks into pregnancy or 19 weeks after conception, your baby is completely covered with a fine downy hair called How long is
puppy?
Your baby is hairy, that's for sure. It's like 10.5 inches long, 10 to 13
Oh, yeah,
inches long.
You're gonna need one of the bigger freezer bags.
Yeah, like
Like
you would
what
need.
like you get at the festival when you get the goldfish.
That's fucking horrible. So yeah, it's about a foot long. So it would be like a massive shit, right? I think like
How's that?
depends. Like it's a baby, so it's not going to be huge, right? But it's that is it's only a foot
Baby,
long.
what the fuck you mean it's not gonna be huge? You see what? You ever watch one of them motherfuckers get delivered? That tears the pussy up.
Yeah, but this is only small. Like so, a normal baby is a bigger.
Look, my Chihuahua is a little bit over 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means she's gonna drop the Chihuahua in the fucking toilet and plunged it through.
Okay, but a Chihuahua is all girthy body. A baby is big head and then everything else lanky.
That's what I'm asking. Like, I'm not, dude, I got
right,
a Chihuahua, dude. Like, it's all head. It's head and eyeball.
Yeah. So, do you think you could flush your Chihuahua down the toilet?
Apparently, she could.
I mean, a couple shots. Fucking. I feel like if you could, like, remember too, a baby's skull is still in pieces, right? So when you just put a little pressure behind it, it'll go.
The Chihuahua's skull is like the skull of a bird, dude.
I know, but still, it's still a skull.
I want to know the circumference of the fetus.
I mean,
because if it's 10 inches and like 2 inches around, that's a fucking Chihuahua. That bitch, she murdered that thing.
How big is a 21 feet? It's it's approximately the size of a carrot. That's it. Yeah, it's about the size of a carrot, like a healthy carrot. Yeah, probably like a chameleon, like a full size chameleon, like one of those, like the longer, like a,
or like the bearded dragon.
Yes, a beard, absolutely. Maybe a bearded dragon, not so much tail, like half the tail. Right? Like
that's no murder.
I mean,
and his brain was probably the same size.
My dad was bent over changing, and I saw an opportunity.
What? I don't know. It's definitely like it's alarming. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like I think she's just an idiot, right? Because remember, listen.
She wouldn't have been fucking all in. I mean, she ended up getting out of it, but if she wouldn't have plunged it, I don't think she'd have had the issue.
Yeah,
I toilet. Call the maintenance man if anything.
Yeah, like in all honesty, I feel like it's more the disposal of the fetus is the issue, because also too, like the healthcare system is notorious for taking the shit that you get rid of and then testing the fuck out of it, right? Like that's literally what they do. Yeah. So, and also too, a fetus will have stem cells that you can extract from it, which people do. So
that's probably one of the big reasons why this woman is in trouble.
Probably.
Or was in trouble.
Well, because remember, like, as much as we want to say that people are on the up and up, like, bro, a good kidney is gonna cost $100,000, and you don't think people are doing that shit? People are definitely doing that shit.
It happens in like the Latin America.
It happens it happens wherever we are. I'll tell you that right now. There.
I look like this. You guys see that eyeball?
Can we see an eyeball on your forehead?
Yeah, I got that black fucking banner with the likes and the heart. And shit.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Listen, people, don't do mushrooms
before a podcast. Right there. There's nothing right there.
No, you have lost your mind. Congratulations.
It's on my monitor.
Well, that's on you, sir. There's nothing I can do about that.
That's why I was asking, fucker.
Well, and I answered. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
How about you guys see that shit that's going on in New York after Trump got hit with that fucking $355 million bill?
By the way, hilarious. On other podcasts, people were like, he got hit with a $500 million fine. And I'm like, in Canadian dollars, not the same. And they're like, ah, pretty funny. What's up, Megan? Why? What was happening in New York?
Well, supposedly there's been there's two halves of the story. You hit the CNNs and the MSNBCs and all that shit, and they're saying that it's bullshit and these people turned around and not doing it. But if you look at the other side, like the Foxes and the OEMs and shit, they're saying that there's this big convoy. But apparently there are some truckers that are banning doing any kind of deliveries to New York and taking anything out of New York. And they said their goal is only 10%. If 10% of deliveries stop daily in New York, within a week, what's left in New York's economy is going to collapse.
Yeah, that's So there was a documentary that came out a little while ago about. It was during the pandemic. It was about Montreal, like Quebec, because Quebec is the French-speaking province of Canada, and it's got a massive amount of its populace is out in the wilderness, right? Like that's where they won't speak English, and they're like they barely speak French. Let's be honest. It's Quebecois, and even then, it's shit Quebecois. Like it's really bad. So they were saying that in Montreal and like outside that, they're like, it's 3 days. You have 3 days of groceries, and that's it. Like after 3 days, we're done. We have no more. Right. So like, and that's factoring in like people buying stuff, stored goods, things that will last. All of that is replaced on a regular basis. Like people buy stuff, right? So it's one of those things where you're gonna have some time where
it's just that cold. 3 days. I mean, I'd have an outdoor freezer. It wouldn't even need an outdoor freezer. A shed. You just get a shed and you put your fucking food out the goddamn shed.
But that's the thing is like there is a huge community that lives outside of the city, suburbia, whatever, where they're like, but there's guys who will hunt for food. Like that's their like, and like you can live off it.
I mean, I don't like deer meat, but I'm sure there's other fucking
oh yeah.
Out there that eat. Oh, look, there it goes. There it goes. You see it?
What?
The internet thing. Am I lagging?
Yep. Yeah, a little bit. You're not as defined, that's for sure. But I don't know, man. Like look, realistically, like the weird thing I always find about going to the States is you'll have a big city, then it ends. There's nothing for like 10 minutes, and then there's like 4 houses, and I'm like, what the fuck is this off a highway? Like that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like because I live in suburbia, like not suburbia, but a big city, and it's if I get up, like I remember I used to live in a condo, and I could look out of my condo, and just as far as I can see, I would see trees and houses, just and that's for quite some time. So you're early.
Nope, I got it on the other computer. Extra one for Black History Month. I don't have a black cop. It's a damn shame. Usually not. Well, yeah. Switch up the subject. We're gonna touch on because apparently off the grid talking now is a hot button.
Yeah.
Talked about toilet babies. It was fine. I talked about fucking hunting your own food and just keeping it in. And they started having the internet shit going on there.
Well, so okay, here's a question for you guys. Like one of the things that I always think about is like the idea of buying in bulk. Like that idea was specifically because it would only be available for a short time in the year. You would eat what you could, preserve what you could, cook with what you could, and whatever you could keep, you would. But like that was the whole idea behind pickles, jams, sauerkraut. Like
and, your journeys like over there, like to go to the fucking mall. It's like a 10-minute drive. It would have been 3 days to go to the fucking mall back then. So people can learn how to. We got to pack up all this fucking deer and this tallow and this lard.
100%, right? Like, and like the idea.
The new one I've seen is called pemmican. Well, I mean, it's not new, but
pemmican bars, yeah.
Yeah, and that's some fucking gross shit, dude. Like I've never tried it, but just to see how it's made, it's ground beef. It's like beef jerky that's ground into powder, and then they mix it with lard,
Yep.
And that's
Bro,
it.
you survive, but you're not going to shit much. And so, like, it's very like, look,
that's a whole bar of shit. Like that I feel like that's just mud butt walking.
No, because it's very. So the idea behind the pemmican bar is that it's it gives you a lot of good stuff, very little waste, but also like it doesn't move that fast. Like it takes time to process it, so like you don't have to eat it. Like it's very much a high caloric. Yeah, like you can have one bar. That's a meal. Like it is a meal replacement. There's a whole thing about making pemmican bars that if you do it right, like you'll survive, right? But
oh yeah, that's just like they preserve fucking food in lard. Like they would just just put meat in the lard, like right in the lard. Like
hey,
and then like 50 years later, this is still good. I'm not eating 50-year-old lard. It turns to lard.
But it doesn't. So this is the thing, though. Is remember, like this is goes back to the idea of all the food that we're eating right now. Is so much is number one full of sugar, but also like ultra processed, and you're going like that's not easier on the body, right? So like we're eating more, but we're less
nutrient,
less nutrient rich, right? So it's like bro, the forever chemicals that we've been consuming that now is coming to light, they're like, oh, that blocks you from absorbing stuff well. So it's like, and that shit just never leaves, right? Like it.
Oh yeah. I just read an article that Cheerios, even doctors prescribe Cheerios.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cause infertility and birth defects.
Yeah, so
Cheerios and Quaker Oats.
Yeah, so there's the thing is so I also there's two things that I get as a daily email. One is the Daily Stoic, which kind of reminds you of, hey, life has always sucked and just don't be an asshole. That's the basic message, which I do like. The second one is I subscribe to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daily email, which is like the positive of mental health and on the internet. It's very enjoyable. But, bro, I'm telling you, if you sign up for Arnold's thing, number one,
that Arnold.
Hey, bro, have you seen the NEBA commercial? Because that shit is fucking hilarious. It's a State Farm commercial, and it's jokes. But he even says, he goes, so with the Cheerios, yes, they found it, but also to remember is they went through and they're like, so if you got the highest tested a batch, right, and you would have to eat 60 bowls of Cheerios for it to actually, like, at one sitting, for it to actually have an effect. And you're going, so yes, is there toxins? Yes, this is an issue. But is it being blown out of proportion? Maybe. Because, hey, remember baby food, how fucked that shit was? Hey, I will trust Arnold with my life. With my life, sir. Bro, Arnold, listen, Arnold was a Republican, banged a Kennedy, and then cheated on her. I will die on the hill of Arnold. No regrets. Okay. That man is a hero. And if anything, he's the president you guys actually need. Okay. He is the best. There's no question.
Instead of telling the Mexicans to go back, he'll be fucking them all.
Yeah. They'll send them back in a chopper.
Yeah.
You get out of here. You get in the chopper. You go home. It's great. I love it. That's fine. But
you get in the backyard.
But bro, that's one of the things where you're going like he definitely kind of will talk about shit and go, oh, you know what, like he's very honest about it. I'm like, you know what, it's nice to not have somebody just go, hey, you're a piece of shit. Be like, thanks, I know, I've been living my life, I know where I am, I'm a piece of shit, thanks. But he's like, hey, you're not always a piece of shit, and you're like, hey, I appreciate that. Not always, a lot of the times, but not always, and that's good.
So up that way, you haven't heard of the truck convoy band, whatever the fuck?
I saw it. So I did hear about it on Instagram. So I've just stopped watching the news because I'm like, fuck you. I hate it. I hate every second of it because I'm like, you know what? You guys fucking you have your, I don't need to know about your problems. You know what? In the news, I find they're sharing other people's problems. Like, hey, I have my own problems. I don't give a shit about your problems. And if it's something big, I'll hear about it. That's fine. somebody will call me back. Hey, do you know there's a fire? Cool. I don't give a shit. You know, let it burn. I don't give a shit. But that's because they're supposed to go. Like it's going big because it's supposed to be the convoy from up here, and they're going like all over the place, right? Like it's supposed to be all over the states that they're gonna run a convoy and
a convoy that's headed to Texas or went to Texas.
Yes, I heard that.
And then there's like just the truckers that are just supposedly banning just doing any kind of like work, or if they are doing work, I guess they're charging like 30% plus more to deliver to New York or to take any kind of anything out.
I didn't hear that about New York, but also too, the mayor that they have, I'm not surprised. That guy is a dipshit.
Which one? Well, the governor. Did you hear what Governor Hochul fucking said? Because like after that whole shit with Trump, all the business people, they're fucking, of course,
scared
out there. They're shitting their pants because Trump didn't do anything that nobody else has done.
Nope.
I mean, even fucking, anybody who's watched the whole thing, to sum it up, the man didn't do shit. I mean, if the people he supposedly ripped off told you he didn't, that he didn't rip them off. If the appraisers and everybody said they came in and looked over the documents and everything was straight, and he still got, oh, he did this, he did no, and then the amount of money. So like all these fucking business dudes are like, he didn't do, we do the same things he does. Fucking Governor Hochul comes out. I guess she heard about, it must have been big enough news for her to speak on.
She looks like a murderer. Let's be honest. I just looked at her picture. I'm like, bro, that lady has buried people. No question. I was talking to Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. That guy has lost his nuts. Like that guy's mental.
But yeah, she came out and said that don't worry, that what happened to Donald Trump is not going to happen. Donald Trump was a special case. Like she just totally put it out there. Like if it wasn't, if she ain't covering ass, like she's either saying that this was totally political.
Yep.
And Trump was right, or she's saying she's lying and she's like, yeah, we're getting it. We're going to take whoever's fit. Yep. And for that money, I would, if honestly, if Donald Trump, like, if you're listening, fucking just do this. You want to get out of this bullshit? I wouldn't even appeal it. I'd have Trump Tower appraised because I know Trump Tower is worth at least $400 million. I'd have Trump Tower appraised, and I'd fucking sell that motherfucker to the cheapest bare knuckle to pay off the bills, and let it get full of immigrants. Leave it. Let it fill with leave.
Why not?
And walk the fuck away. I'd sue their asses for not taking my name off that bill quick.
Like ultimately, like that he's gonna have to do that move, and then they're screwed. Because as soon as do you know how many times he stepped in for the city of New York and Manhattan and taken over projects where they were like, 3 years late and like half a $1 billion over budget, and he was like, I got this. Jumps in there, 6 months is done. You're going, so is he the bad guy?
Supposedly the project all begged him to come back for loans. They all begged him to come back. They said that Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million. The fucking bathrooms in Mar-a-Lago are worth more than $18 million.
Yeah. Well, that's the stupidity is gotten to the point where you're like, it's owned by Trump, so that devalues it by $100 million. You're like, what are you talking about? Like that the insanity that people use as a principle is killing your country, like, and my country too. There's no because here people are like, well, you can't trust those people. You're going, trust who people? You're gonna not trust the opposition of the guy who literally has raped our country and destroyed everything?
You know who first of all built Mar-a-Lago and why it was built?
No,
Mar-a-Lago was built by our government as a resort for ex-presidents.
Oh, like Camp David kind of thing?
Yeah. Our government couldn't afford it. Donald Trump bought it from our government. Now you're going to tell me that's only worth $18 million.
Bro. That the idea that these people
Like our
Yeah.
oh, you know what? I gotta stop this for a minute if I forget this. I gotta admit, Ryan Weiss, we all know him. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And me and Ryan talked. He stopped down a few days ago, and we were talking politics a little bit. And I have to admit, he proved me wrong. You know, one of the biggest things about the conservatives, we don't have the money to be throwing here or there. We don't have the money to be doing all this for this all. You know, the extra welfares and the letting go of the school. Apparently, we do. We got the fucking money. We got the money to be throwing to Ukraine. We got the money to be throwing at Israel and Palestine and fighting the war in Iran, which is nowhere near either one of them.
Yeah.
And we're about to start some shit over in China. So we got the fucking money. Everybody's pissing and moaning. Biden's out there talking about not even the Supreme Court's going to stop me from forgiving these loans. You know what? Fucking do it already. Fucking do it, goddammit. Quit sending our money every fucking where else. God damn it. If you're going to fucking do it, send it fucking here. I don't give a fuck if they're the richest of the richest kids or the poorest of the poorest kids. Yeah. Fucking send them. Give the black folks reparations. Give the Indians their motherfucking land. Fuck it. Apparently, we got the goddamn money. So, Ryan, you was right. I had to let that go. That was
that's fine. That's I get it.
You know, and that conversation happened in the Sand People restaurant.
I mean, where else would it happen, sir? That's only fair. That's only reasonable.
Dude, I told what joke? Oh, I told my Gaza Strip joke at an open mic, and the only person that laughed was a Sand person. Now, if it was Palestinian or Israeli, I don't know, but he laughed at the Gaza Strip joke. And for people who don't know, does anybody else think the Gaza Strip was an Arab titty bar?
Bro. Listen, the idea that it's very confusing that the fucking shit you say sometimes. I don't know. Like, why? I don't understand why everyone is so insane right now, though. Is this like, this can't be normal, right? Like, it is insane.
It's the new normal, dude. It is the new fucking normal. And it's you know, we got our president wanting to fight our people on this side, you know, with military force for stopping a literal invasion of people who are not supposed to be coming in here. And for the people who are claiming that it's not an invasion, there was just a firefight. The fucking cartels have armored trucks and cars with the big fucking artillery guns on top of them.
Nice.
They're fighting our reservists, our National Guard, whatever the fuck, you know, down on the line.
Yeah.
This shit. And they got proof. There was a couple, I don't remember if it was Vice, Undercover, or one of the undercover news things.
Yeah.
But and the cartels, you know, these cartels showed them their weapons, and they're all American fucking weapons.
Yeah. That's the most alarming thing, where you're going, hold on. So you guys are arming the army right next door that's trying to get in? What the fuck? Like, that is just stupid shit, right?
Well,
whether it's being stolen or being sold off, I suspect it's being sold off, right? That's
what they try to do is they try to link these lines of traffic of the guns that come in from America, and they're saying that there's like this big intricate, like, you know, all right, this person is buying an AK-47 here, and then they hand it off to this person who hands it off. No, I cannot buy that at all. That all came in at one bundle. Somebody got a hold of some people in the government, our government.
Yeah.
And they bought their fucking guns. Just like, what was it? Just not even 2-3 weeks ago, a fucking semi, the accent of a semi, they found a bunch of guns, and then it's gone. You know, it just right there on the border, just they uncovered a fucking semi thing.
Yeah, like, and it was magical. They figured it out. Listen, it's the same thing. Like, so just recently here, there was in Toronto, there was I think it was since Christmas, they had stolen 638 cars. 638 cars. And hilariously, so what people were doing was they were putting air tags in their car, and they're like, "Hey, my car's in that truck. Stop the truck." And they're like, "Oh, we're not allowed to do that." You're like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?"
It's all a scam.
It's all a scam.
My daughter had one of them whatever the fuck, and she dropped it at a party or whatever, and magically her phone come on. Well, she had that. You can find your phone.
Yep.
Took the phone all the way to the house it was at. Cops wouldn't go and wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, then what's the point of the cops? That's the problem. Is you're going, I do understand people who are like, well, defund the police. They're like, no. What you need is a better qualified, better trained, and better resourced police force. And you know what? You're like, listen, I agree. You should have police that are specifically trained to handle mental health issues, and all police should have some of that training to be like, hey, this isn't. Let's calm it down. And then let's bring in an expert like that. I can understand it, but that's not what's happened. People are going, "Oh, well, I'm the police. I can do whatever I want." No, the fuck you can't, asshole, because you're gonna get shot in the face. That's what's gonna happen, and that's when everything devolves.
The problem we got going on now, nobody's fucking talking about it. Is, what was it now? 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know whenever that idiot fucking got his neck snapped. Yeah. Well, since then, a good number of police officers have quit.
Yep.
They have been harassed. They have been fucking ridiculed. They have been ran out of their. They fucking quit. So now they went on these hiring blitzes. I see them all the time in all these different states. They're going on these police hiring blitzes, and they're just picking up. Dude, we just had a motherfucker dump his clip, and got another cop to dump her clip into a dude because a fucking acorn hit his car.
You've seen the video?
Oh, dude.
And you're going, the funny thing is, it happens, and he's like, shots fired. You're going, I didn't hear a shot. What is he talking about?
Dude, he hit the ground like he got hit with an AK.
Hey, like he was, I'm hit. And you're going, now, so this is the thing, okay? Is like there's the video of Joe Rogan explaining how like he thought he saw a wolf and it was a squirrel. Where you're going like, listen, when you're in a heightened situation, I can understand where things are, but I'm like, but we're not talking about random Joe Blow in a heightened situation. You're a police officer. That's your job. You should be trained, right? Like, listen, I have friends who are police. Don't get me wrong, right? And I'm like, listen, it's a hard ass job. But that doesn't mean some of you ain't assholes, right? Well, that's everywhere.
They're putting in all these fucking new guys who just, hey, I saw Police Academy, so give me my badge and my gun, and holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And then you can't even, the black folks are gonna have to sit back and realize you can't even call racism on this shit. A lot of this is just dumb fuckery now. It's just dumb fuck. They're shooting. Dude, I watched a fucking lady get like her and her husband were arguing, and I don't know if the neighbors called the cops or something or whatever, but the cops run up on the house and they already had their guns drawn. This was in the country home, look like they already had their guns drawn. I watched the fucking. There was 3 body cams of it.
Jesus.
Fucking one cop went in. Didn't it? Like the dude stopped. He was like, "Hey, my wife is drunk. She's kind of having a breakdown. I'm trying to keep her away from the other room." And the cop asked, "Are there any weapons in the house?" He was like, "Yes, there's a gun in the back room." Well, that's where the girl was headed. So the girl went in the back room, came back out, didn't have shit. Didn't have nothing. And in the meantime, they made this dude, like, cuffed him, made him get the fuck out of the house, out of his own house. The chick came out on the step. They said, she got a gun. Baba. Dude, they dumped on this poor lady. Like, and the dude is screaming in the background, don't hurt her. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's my wife. What are you doing? Like, dude, he murdered this lady in front of, and that all the cops that shot, because it wasn't 1, it wasn't 2, it was like 5 and one of their supervisors, and they all got deemed. The shots were clear shots. They had I forget what the fuck it's called, but it was good shots.
It was a
They
clean
had
shot. Yeah.
yeah, they were all clean shots.
Which
3 to 5 clips of clean shots.
like this is the thing, man, is that so this is one of the things that I've been looking into recently, was that they were saying how there was a time when like becoming a priest, okay, was like you were the smart guy in the village, like, and then you were taken away, you were educated, you were taught languages, you were taught how to read, and then you were sent somewhere else to educate, but you were the cream of the crop. Now,
Right.
when the plague happened, those guys were the ones doing the final rites, so all of them died.
Yeah.
So now, while all the cream of the crop's gone, we just need somebody. And then there was an explosion of illegal stuff, bad character, people doing bad things, and that proliferated because all the good guys were gone. Now,
Right.
in the same sense, you have police officers who are not adequately trained, understaffed, right? And on top of that, they're told to be a brotherhood. You got to cover your brotherhood. You're going, listen, should you be a brotherhood? Yes, there's no question. But you have to hey, you have to cut the cancer from within the brotherhood, right? That's not, you can't, you're a brotherhood to protect each other. You're not a brotherhood to conceal each other from your wrongdoing. That's not how that works. But now you have people who are going, well, I'm not a bad guy. I just wanted to help people, but now I have to cover your illegal ass because you're fucking stealing shit and fucking people. Right. And then, so the good guys are like,
used to be a balance, and there's no balance no more. We got a handful of good underappreciated cops, and we're just getting scores and scores of these fucking uneducated, untrained fucking dickheads that are fucking people up.
Like, look, if you watch any interviews with guys who were like SEALs or special teams or whatever, they will always say, like, I don't want the guy who's the best. I want the guy who's honorable, trustworthy, and competent. He doesn't have to be the best, but if I know he's honorable and trustworthy, I can make him better. We can work better as a team. That's a learned skill that will happen over time. But honor, trust, loyalty, you don't suddenly switch it, flip a switch and go, today I'm going to be a loyal person. No, you either are or you aren't, right? Like, listen, I being 6'2" and even at 500 now at 260, if you come from my family, I'm going to cut your face, bro. I'm going to cut your face and I will ruin you. That's just going to happen. I'm going to rip your arms off and beat you to death with it. Not because of me, because I will do what I have to do to protect my family. And if you say, well, you can't protect your family. Oh, no. Maybe you can't protect your family. I can protect my family. Okay. So don't think that, oh, well, I'll figure. Nah, friend. Okay. That's why, like, I've had cops who were 5'6", and I'm like, hey, man, everything's cool. Let's just calm down. And he's like, whoa, and trying to be all blustery. And I'm like, hey, I don't think that's helpful. Let's relax, And I'm like, look, I stay cool because, number one, you're not. And number two, if you really wanted to, bro, your weapon and your vest ain't going to help your arms going like you're a He-Man figure and I'm going to make you armless. Okay. Sorry. That's not how life works. But that's the truth. Right. And that's like, we have this thing where people are like, even bro, my buddy Kyle, he's like, yeah, he used to be CrossFit trainer. And he's like, he would train cops in jujitsu and thing. And you're going, yeah, I have a gun. Okay. You don't want to pull your gun out. Yeah. If you have to pull your gun out, you failed. Right? Because you have to de-escalate and solve the problem. You have to keep the peace. If you pull your gun out, you're not keeping the peace, bro. You're kind of adding to the unpeace of the shit, right? That's the reality of it.
It's in pieces now, man. You're in pieces.
Yeah. You're not a peace giver. You're a peace taker.
And now you're just a bunch of pieces.
I mean.
Oh, fuck. So, I guess for the last few minutes of this, hear the whole Fannie Willis thing, the Georgia shit?
I have no idea who that is. No.
All right, it's the chick who's prosecuting Trump down in Georgia for the election fraud. She got caught up fucking the married dude, and then they're lying about it. And now, not only are there the 22 charges that are already hitting her, she's got, I think, 7 more coming, ethics charges coming from within.
Good.
But she's going to all these black churches preaching racism, that they're just doing this because everything's about race.
Is she black? Is that why?
Yeah.
You know,
and it didn't even start with Trump. It didn't even begin near Trump. It was one of the other people she charged found out the information about her fucking around with the dude she hired to prosecute Trump, and he was still married, and the wife wanted, like, he found out through the divorce papers, because the wife wanted to know how much money he was making through working with the chick he was fucking, which had to be disclosed. And then like, one of his friends came out and he was trying to be cool and testifying with him. And like his side, like, they're on the defense.
Yeah.
Their side brought up the dude sexually assaulted some chick in the firm. And then she was like, are you one of Nathan Wade's friends? And he's like, I'm one of his best friends. She was like, but he said you guys weren't friends at all. And you can see the dude's eyes light up like, this motherfucker threw me under the bus.
Bro. See, the guy.
Well,
like, sorry, go ahead.
Apparently, now on top of all this, now if she gets thrown out, then that whole election shit in Georgia gets thrown out. Because they're already finding out now during this trial, they opened the Pandora's box. All this supposed, we looked up everything and all the fucking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're finding a lot of, nobody's been checking shit. Georgia,
the other one.
Nobody's checking a motherfucking thing down there.
Yeah.
So
who you lying to?
Thrown out, then the whole thing gets tossed.
I love it.
But the judge now, who I'm thinking, I've been watching the trial. The judge has been pretty fair. Out of all these judges, he ain't got no shit behind him. Right now, they're digging up. They said he donated $150, and his wife donated $100 to Fannie back like 4 years ago. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't say nothing to that because, I mean, that's before she was still on TV saying she wasn't going to fuck anybody at work. He didn't know she was going to start fucking the dude at work. So, I mean, I can't. I give him. You got to support your own. I give him that. It was only $150. I'd be pretty pissed off if you one of my people and you only gave me $150, even knowing the money they're making. So that's kind of an insult in my eyes.
True.
But they're saying because he also worked under her that it might be an issue for Trump. But I'm thinking if he worked under her and everybody's hitting her with these ethics things, he knows she's a cunt.
Yeah. There's no.
He knows there shadiness is going on down there.
So, one of the things, I've been on a mental health journey throughout losing weight and everything. And you know what? During this winter, this is the first winter that I've experienced not being as fat as I'm accustomed to, right? So I've been like layering clothes and stuff. And honestly, also the first time where I'm like, I had a wave of a bit of depression and stuff. And I didn't feel good. Specifically the last few weeks, I've had a rough time, right? So I'm like, I actively will look at like motivational stuff and stuff to keep your head straight because it's important, right? And there are a lot of people throughout history who have said it better than I can think of and say to myself. But one of the big things is like, yo, your character is all you have. And you can't say your character is good during sunshine and lollipops and good times and prosperity. Nah, man. Your character, it comes out when you shit your pants in someone else's house. You ain't got to change your clothes. Your phone's dead. That's when your character comes out. It's when you're in the shit. And the fact is that half these people not only have never been in the shit, but they've never been tested. And they're like, oh, I thought everybody was doing illegal stuff. You're like, no, you're just a garbage person. And like people like this, especially like lawyers are sadly necessary at some point in society. But the fact is, you have an entire government run by lawyers. You have an entire structure of bureaucracy that is just bogged down constantly. And these people are like, oh, well, I'm comfortable because it's my job and my job says I have to do that. So I'm okay with it. But me as a person, I'm different. You're like, no, you're dog shit. If you're fucking somebody at work and either of you are in a relationship outside of that, yeah, you're both dead. Like you're both garbage people, and literally nobody will love you ever. It's that simple, right? Just, but that's the thing is, there's people have zero character, and we need public hangings back. I'm just like the guillotine. We need the guillotine.
One of the silly laws that you get hit with, like you can't adultery is a misdemeanor down in Georgia. So they're trying to say that they never messed around during his marriage.
Oh yeah,
he's technically still married right as we speak. The divorce isn't out. So
right.
Yeah, you done told on, and then she told on herself about taking campaign finance money. Like she said, she kept a little. She was like, I took a loan out for my campaign, and I kept a little bit of that at home.
What?
You gotta say something about it. Like that's a big deal in the whole political field. The campaign finance.
Yeah. Like
another thing they try to get Trump on.
it's not the first. See, this is the hilarious part. Is like you have a lot of freedom with super PACs and donation stuff. Like there are a lot of ways to wiggle through, and as long as you document everything. You haven't, like, is it unsavory? Sure. But is it illegal? No, because you documented everything. Say, oh, well, I took a loan. Here's the documentation for it. This is the interest I'm paying. This is my repayment plan.
That ain't no good.
So if you're like, well, I just thought I'd keep some at home. No, motherfucker, that's not okay. You can't just, well, I think I know best. Nah, son, you don't know best. Like, it's a little ridiculous.
All right. With that being said, thank you, Dino, for joining us tonight. I guess we've only had one slowdown on me, and I don't think it was because of off the grid stuff. I think it was just maybe my internet.
It's because the internet doesn't care about that lady. They're like, no, talk about her all you want. It's the other people that.
But even with the Trump stuff, usually if I bring up anything about Trump or fuck Joe Biden and fuck HRC. HRC's still going after Assange. That poor man about to die. Did you know he's still in jail? Did you know he's in jail? How the fuck did he get in jail? He was asylum in Russia, living it up. Now he's in jail in the UK, fucking dying. And they're still trying to extradite Assange.
Oh, is he? Oh God.
And they're still trying to extradite him. That man knows something, and he ain't letting it out. But I'm sure if he dies, there's gonna be that leak. There's going to be a big leak.
I mean, listen, the idea that the states has actively attacked whistleblowers, for the last 10 years? Like, where they're like, hey, they do not, they're like, oh, no, bring him back now. Like, they lose their shit. You're like, bro, you failed. If you can't handle a whistleblower, that's because you're bad. You're a bad person.
One of the other big whistleblowers magically committed suicide. Remember, there was three of them. There was Assange, there was Snowden, and then there was that other dude who turned to a chick.
Yeah, that guy was but
look, you got to be scared of something if you done cut your dick off, because you can see he was not a willing pee giver upper.
Yeah, well, I've never met anyone who's like, oh, I don't need that, just chop it off. You're like, that's nope. Nobody's saying that stuff.
Trying to get away from something, and I think he's the one that's not alive now.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. We
was talking about that too. Still good on the internet, so it's just bad equipment. I gotta beefing up this other laptop then.
Yeah, go.
All right, from Upside Down Studios. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Dino. Where you gonna be at? You just promote your Lego shit.
Dino the Genetic Marvel. I am up to like 1,800 something subscribers on YouTube. I am posting stuff daily now, and I'm also building a shit ton of Lego. So It is actually pretty awesome. I have a box of Lego that I got off Marco right behind me that is slowly coming into play. There's all sorts of shit in there. So, and also, you know, I have my little display here, but it's getting bigger and stuff. And there's all sorts of things happening. But make sure you go and subscribe and check it out. It'll be great. Thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right, guys. Good night. We out.